right, Eric, how old are you and how much money did you make last month?
So I'm just turned 22 years old, and I just made just shy of 100K last month. Majority, pretty much all profit is.
Something that you said in one of your videos is the only way to get successful is to go through a fuck ton of pain. What was the most painful thing that you had to go through in order to succeed?
I guess the nightmare mode, to be honest, was the most painful thing.
Yeah.
Now, I used to think that pain was the case, and I also still do think now, but I think the more you view it as pain, then the more your subconscious will kind of prevent you from actually going in that direction because you're always moving towards pleasure and moving away from pain. Now, the more that you could kind of align yourself with your goals of being pleasurable or like enjoyable, and the more pain of being in your current situation, that's actually when you scale. However, you still need to go through pain through certain things. For example, at the start with cold calling, everyone doesn't like cold calling. I honestly thought it was actually pretty fun, but and also doing sales calls as well. Like remember my first few sales calls. And by the way, for some context, I started my marketing agency like 2 years ago, and I scaled it up, and then now I do different businesses. But at least at the start, I remember just hoping people would just no show my sales calls because I was so bad at sales and I didn't want to go through the pain because I was like just super nervous. But yeah, that was probably, I think the nightmare mode was probably the most painful thing. So pretty much 2 years ago to this exact month, I just dropped the university, went all in, and then started my SMMA, my marketing agency. And then I guess now we're out here in Dubai. So that's kind of how it all started. But that initial 3 month period was kind of just pure pain. And it was a lot of fun, to be honest. It's probably the most enjoyable part of my life looking back because it was just so like on the journey. And yeah, it was a very fun time looking back. So yeah.
For sure, man. And you, I guess that kind of ties into something else that I've heard you speak about a lot, like the importance of perception.
Mm,
Because yeah, you could see that as a painful moment and like dread doing it, but you could also see it as a great thing and a super fun time because of course there are many good things about it and like there's a lot of ways to actually make it an enjoyable experience. So it really,
yes.
yeah, like you said, like it really just depends on the way that you think about it.
Mm, yes,
So,
exactly. Very true. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm,
So you talk about how your subconscious will change your actions in order to confirm whichever perspective that you have. How did
yes.
you originally learn to switch your perspective in life and business to one that serves you more? Because I find so many people, they're kind of running on autopilot and they have these perspectives that they don't even know they have,
Mm,
which are holding them back.
yeah. 1000%. So I originally actually, with any of the legends hearing this right now, probably there's some of you guys might know this one guy named Earl Nightingale, and he actually back in late 1900s made this audio tape called "The Strangest Secret," and it was pretty much explaining how the subconscious mind works. And there's actually one moment of my life before the nightmare mode where I just listened to that on repeat, and I actually understood how the subconscious works and actually how to leverage it to get pretty much anything you want in life. And from there, I kind of just realigned my beliefs because I think back then I don't know, like my beliefs were obviously very different. And you have to understand, in order to hit a goal, you don't really. Okay, the way most people, the majority population looks at achieving goals is you just need to achieve the goal and then you essentially achieve the self image of someone who has that goal attained. The actual way to do it is to achieve the self image first and therefore you achieve the goal. So that's kind of how it works. And the self image could be in the domain of things. It's a mass domain under like beliefs, actions, habits, thoughts, things you're doing every single day, which will eventually bring you to that goal. So that's kind of what you need to do. For example, if someone's trying to make like 10K a month online, for example, and they
Yeah.
think that making money online is impossible, it's very hard to do, or it's just like going to be the most hardest thing ever, it's simply just not going to happen because your subconscious isn't aligned with your goals. So what you have to do is kind of reprogram your mind and belief system around achieving the goals because in order to hit a goal, let's say 10K a month online, you have to think it's easy. You have to think that making money online is fucking super easy. It's going to be easiest task in the world because you've seen most people do it. The way to mainly change your beliefs is through new evidence, which is going to pretty much disprove your old beliefs. You're going to have a bit of cognitive biases or cognitive dissonance where like there's two different belief systems kind of fighting against each other. But yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is just visualizing, using affirmations to kind of reprogram your subconscious. And this is just going to allow you to achieve your goals way faster. Because, for example, if someone's trying to make even 100K month online, you have to adopt the belief systems of someone who's at 100K month. That's a mass different belief system between 10K month and 100K month. Because at 100K month, you have to learn and think way more at scale. So how are you going to hire the team? How are you going to run ads? How are you going to make a funnel? How are you going to have a sustainable backend? How are you going to have good client acquisition? Like, there's a ton of stuff compared to 10K month and 100K month. But at least someone who's at like in the early stages, so let's say someone's working 9 to 5 or they're about to go down that path, but they want to make money online. The best way to do it is literally just try to find more evidence of people making money online, because then you're going to be like, oh, this is actually, easy to do. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's kind of tying into what we were talking about before the podcast. Like me moving to Miami, you moving to Dubai. Re
Yeah.
it's like it completely changes your mindset when you're in a new environment because you see so much evidence that you can accomplish anything you want because there's like millions of people around you doing
1,000%.
like exactly what you want to do and finding like so much success in their
Yeah.
life. So like if they can do it, why can't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I could pull up so many stories right now of, like, for example, I run like a coaching mentorship business right now, but I had two mentees who actually flew out to Dubai because I scaled them very fast. They want to come here. So within the first 72 hours of them landing in Dubai, they cash collected, like, and they made 13K profit in their business just by
Yeah.
being in this environment. Because like the moment you get here, your subconscious opens up and it's like, oh fuck, it's actually super easy to make money. And then therefore certain situations are going to come into your life which will confirm that belief in the first place, which exactly happened. So, and there's been so many other stories with me as well, like meeting billionaires on crypto yachts and stuff like that. Just after that happens, my mind perspective opens up and I'll just make a bunch more money. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you said you met the founder of Tether and Shiba Inu.
Yes. So I got invited on a crypto yacht. It was going for, I don't know how much. I think it was like 500K or a million per week to rent. I don't know the exact number, but it was pretty insane amount. And then yeah, ended up meeting the founder of Tether and Shiba Inu on that yacht. And the Tether guy was a billionaire, so that was pretty cool to kind of interact with him and talk to him for a while. So it was good.
Insane, man. Yeah, and that stuff, it really just opens up your perspective. And when you're
Mm.
around people who are doing big things like that, you can't help but think bigger. And you have
Yeah,
no
exactly. Yeah.
choice but to believe in
Yeah.
yourself. Something that you said in one of your videos was you gotta have a massive ego only if it benefits you. So,
Mhm.
personally, my thoughts on ego are like you should overestimate what you're capable of, like
Yes.
overestimate your belief in yourself, but then sort of underestimate your current skills. For example, like not getting ahead of yourself and thinking you're like the best business person there is, because then you're going to stop
Yeah.
learning. Or like not thinking you're some expert at sales if you've only taken a few sales calls. So,
Yes,
what are your
exactly.
thoughts on that? Do you agree or what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree and also disagree. So, okay, for example, if someone thinks that they're just shit at sales, this comes back to the subconscious and perspective thing, right? If someone thinks that they're shit at sales, then the okay, also for some context, reality works like a mirror. If you think that
Yeah.
you're bad at sales, then what's going to happen on sales calls is you're going to confirm that belief. Your subconscious is going to confirm that belief, and you're going to say things on purpose, which will make you mess up the sale, which will confirm that belief in the first place because reality is a mirror. So I like to think I'm good at everything I do, even though I might not be good at certain things. But I think by me being that bit extra delusional actually benefits me in the long term. However, when I said you need a big ego without it affecting others, it's more like you can't think that you're better than other people or you're just going to not listen to other people because that's not going to benefit you,
Yeah.
right? You need to think of ways where like I'm just really fucking good at what I do. I'm the best. I'm gonna fucking do it. So that's kind of what you need at the start, because if you don't have that, if you don't have a massive self belief at the start, then it's very hard for you to actually take yourself off the ground. Because whenever 2 years ago, exactly to this month, or sorry, yeah, pretty much this month, I dropped out September 1st, 2022, and then pretty much just went all in and told everyone all my friends, I just ghosted everyone and broke with my girlfriend. Didn't see my family for a while. Didn't see anyone. No partying, no girls, no drugs. Like I don't do drugs in general, but just no drinking. Like no going out, no TV, like no junk food. I was just fully locked in, and I had that so much self belief at the start. And if I didn't have the self belief, I don't know if I would actually be able to pull it off because it comes down to the perspective thing again, end of the day. So yeah.
That's true, man. Well, how do you think somebody who was in your situation before, like live in a city like Vancouver, there wasn't too much going on, and kind of stuck around a lot of people who aren't really doing big things. How does someone like that start to believe in themselves and just
Yeah.
gain that level of conviction that you had?
Well, you have to think of the reason why you're doing it in the first place because no average person starts a business. Like, there's not, no one just that's normal is be like, oh, I want to just start a business and just tell everyone to get fucked and just drop university and like go all into myself. Like, that's not like a really normal or natural thing. There's obviously like deeply rooted subconscious drivers that because of things that happened in their past life, which are the reason why they're starting this business in the first place. But at least like the way to do it is honestly you have to just isolate yourself and just not hang out with old friends, people part of your old past self-image or your old past life because you are the sum of the five people you hang around with. Like if you were hanging out with billionaires all day, you would most likely be at least make a few million in the process over like the first few months. Just because they're at such a more higher level. Compared to you hanging out with homeless people all day, you're obviously gonna like descale like crazy. So I think
Yeah.
the first part is just isolating and just kind of just also changing environments as well. Because a lot of this whole podcast is going to be talking about subconscious stuff, but it seems like, but we should also go into other topics, but it's like, it's very, who you hang out with, your environment, your daily actions, they all just make up your life essentially. So you have to kind of just jump out of your old reality by changing a lot of things and just gaining a lot of self belief. And there's obviously certain techniques to do this. You could do visualizing, you could use affirmations. You could also use things called subliminals, which is pretty underground stuff. But yeah, you kind of just need to also increase your testosterone. That's also going to help a ton with self belief too. But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, something else I want to say relate to that is like I find whenever I'm around certain people, like I start to adopt their beliefs and their mindsets. And I
Yes.
think that's where the phrase "you are the average of the five people you spend the most time with" comes from.
Hmm.
Because you adopt their thoughts, which ends up creating your actions, and then your actions create your reality. And I find
Yes.
like there's this one guy who I used to be pretty good friends with. And like whenever I was around him, I like I kind of adopted his victim mindset, whether I wanted to or not. But then there's other people who are just like great people to be around. They have great mindsets, and even though they weren't going after really big goals and like achieving big things, like I still felt so good when I was around them. It felt like I could just take
Hmm.
on the world because they
Yeah.
had such good mentalities. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm very selective of who I hang out with. I'm not friends with anyone who's not an entrepreneur. Like it's just not a thing. Like I only hang out with guys who are doing above like 50K, 100K a month usually. And at least. But I've also noticed that like whenever it seems shallow, but it's just the truth. Like if you just and obviously I don't obviously only focus on income. It's obviously like who the type person is as well. But I've found that whenever I hang out with my old friends, like during Christmas break or like during summer, whenever I go back town to my old hometown for like a few weeks, I have the exact same feeling as well. Like I just keep on thinking smaller, and then I always just I'm not working on the business as much, and just a bunch of stuff gets messed up. But compared to living with my guys right now, Nick and also Nabil, they're doing above 100K a month each. So it's just like it's so much. We just all combine and just think so much higher together. It's just such a good feeling. We're always helping each other out, just telling each other on other investing opportunities and stuff like that. For example, this morning I actually just sent 20K off to pre-seed investing project, and we'll see how that goes. But it might turn out to be like a 20, 30x. Who knows? But we have all the boys doing it together, so that type of stuff is just really fun as well to just do with your friends who are also at a high level. But Yeah.
A lot of people listening to this podcast really want to be in your situation social wise, like have friends they're living with, they can like help each other out and find success together. But I think a
Mhm.
lot of people, they either don't know where to look or they haven't really built themselves up to be the person who can actually attract that kind of social circle. How can someone find that group of friends to begin with? And also, how can they become the person who can actually attract that group of people? Because it's not like high quality people are going to be friends with anybody.
The first thing you have to realize is that every single relationship operates off of an exchange of value. Like, it just doesn't exist if there's no value. And sometimes people think, oh, this is only like you giving them certain tips or connecting with other people. Like, no, it actually, value could also just mean a meaningful connection and giving them dopamine by talking to them and just on a super, super deep level, right? The more you could just connect with someone, it doesn't always have to be about money or whatever it is. Just if you make them feel like a normal person, which a lot of these high up guys are really lacking on because everyone's trying to find out how to get value from them and they're trying to treat them like this super super high person even if they're like a billionaire or 9 figures 8 figures whatever it is. The more you could just treat them like a normal person, they're actually going to value you more, and I've experienced this firsthand as well. So but honestly, at least how to get into these rooms is you need a good Instagram first of all. So you need to study like social engineering and how perspective and perception works, like image perception specifically, and then realize how to perceive yourself and engineer yourself in a certain way, which will help you attract those high value people into your life. Like my Instagram is, I feel like it is pretty good. I have the username Eric on Instagram, and I feel like even just having a username or the type of photos I have on there, the type of videos I have on there, it makes people come into my life way more easier. Like I think Instagram is kind of just like your social resume, and I could pretty much go on dinner with anyone I want in Dubai just from a simple DM. So the power of that is insane. But the way to get a good Instagram is to obviously meet the type of people to go on these trips with and have this experience with so you get good photos in the first place. So you obviously need to become valuable yourself first. And then you could start building connections in business or just even cold approaching in Dubai. Like, for example, I've cold approached a few guys in Dubai, no homo, who I've just are friends with like Tate and stuff like that, just in coffee shops because I saw like an AP on the wrist, which is like about 50K watch. And I said, hey, bro, you an online business? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And we started talking for like half an hour. Turns out he's like friends with Tate and it's stuff like that. So it's like even just connections like that are just super, super easy to make in Dubai. The more you could just socially engineer yourself to have high image perception, then you could pretty much get close to whatever you want in life through Instagram. There's obviously certain limits, but for example, like I was saying earlier, I could DM anyone to go on dinner with in Dubai and they'll like 90% of the time say yes. Obviously not people like Tate and stuff like that, but guys who are at my level or above my level as well, it's very, very easy to go on dinners and stuff like that. For example, I've also organized multiple, pretty often actually, just entrepreneur dinners where a bunch of 7 or 8 figure, 9 figure guys will come on. I'll have a good time, 10, 15 of us at like rooftop bars or dinner places, whatever it is, restaurants, and it's just like, it's a good time. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because of the Instagram. So it's very, very, which seems kind of shallow, but it works very, very well. And especially with girls and stuff like that, like you could get pretty much majority of girls will respond no matter what I say compared to my old account. Whenever I do that, it wasn't really the case. So it's not really matter what you say. It's more about who you are on Instagram.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, yeah, it might be kind of shallow, but it's the truth. It's how the world works now.
Hmm.
So, what do you think are some practical
Yeah.
steps for the people listening to this to get a better Instagram or at least just a less bad Instagram? What do you think are some practical steps for the people listening to this to get a better Instagram or at least like an Instagram that's less bad?
I'll give you guys some easy methods to do. So first of all, you have to delete pretty much all your old like college photos if you guys have those out there with like a bunch of the guys at the bar and stuff like that. That just doesn't look high value at all. Because if you actually define value, it's literally just scarcity. Like high value things are just scarce. Like it's, for example, if you are on a yacht in Monaco, the reason it looks high value is because no one else could do it. So that's just kind of
Yeah.
like the basic like law of it. But another easy thing is like if you look at my Instagram, I'm never actually looking at the camera. I don't have any photos where I'm really looking at the camera because it's actually the same kind of correlation with celebrities, right? For example, if you look at paparazzi, the reason why the celebrities look so high value is because they're not looking at the camera. Like there's other people just taking a bunch of photos of them. So that's kind of the same way I leverage it as well. I never actually look at the camera. I just have someone else taking photos or videos of me. So it kind of looks like I'm a celebrity, or not exactly that, but it's more of like paparazzi or whatever you want to do it. So it's kind of like the same way of leveraging that, along with a bunch of other stuff like social proof as well. For example, I have a photo with Mike Thurston on a yacht in Dubai, also with like Luke Belmar at a dinner, and also on a one-on-one call with Ty Lopez. Like the more guys that you could kind of have high up and just leverage that, that helps a ton. Because if I, let's say, DM someone on Instagram, want to go on dinner with them or want to meet up, whatever it is, or just want to just have a chat with them, if they see that I have these high up guys who are, Ty's making like $1 billion a year, and Luke Belmar and Mike Thurston, all these guys, then they're gonna be like, okay, I could actually get some value out of Eric because he knows these hype guys. So I'm actually gonna agree to talk with him or go on dinner with him, whatever it is.
Something that I heard you were talking about before was when you went to Greece for a few months and stayed with your friends, you kind of tricked yourself into thinking you were successful. Could you go a bit deeper on that and like
Yes.
why like that
Yes.
wasn't good that you felt successful?
Yes. Okay, so for some context about Greece, so that this was about a year and a half ago. So after I dropped university, I started making 10K a month online, then 30K a month online for my SMMA, because I had a very good mentor at the time who kind of taught me how to do everything. That's kind of the only reason I scaled, and also I joined a course as well. But so I met Nick and Jordan online, which I went to Greece with. Nick's actually in the other room right now, and Jordan's back in Miami. But I met them online, and then we went on to Portugal and Greece. They live in these villas that we booked, and at that moment, this kind of goes back in the subconscious stuff as well. So there was obviously reasons I started the business in the first place, right? These are called dry vacuums. So a dry vacuum is pretty much a certain select of subconscious drivers which are making you do certain things. For example, the reason I wanted to start the business was to tell everyone who didn't believe in me to like get fucked and stuff like that, along with to prove all haters wrong, it's the same thing. But mainly was to actually never work a 9 to 5 ever in my life, and also to have ultimate freedom and also to travel the world. So what happens is whenever you fulfill the drive vacuum, whenever you fill the vacuum and you have all the driving factors pretty much be non-exist anymore because you fulfill them, then you kind of lose motivation to keep on going in business because there's no reason to keep on going. For example, a very easier, simple example to understand is, for example, let's say you wanted to start a business just to retire your parents, and then a year later you retire your parents, and then there's no reason to keep on going in business because you've already fulfilled that. So it's kind of the same thing happened with me with not wanting to work a 9 to 5 and stuff like that, because I fulfilled all that stuff. And then I realized, okay, what am I actually doing here? Like, I don't know why I'm even doing certain things. And then you have to consciously realize like what you actually want, what's your higher purpose. And then I found that, and now it's all good. But I guess sometimes that could happen to some guys at the start, where you fulfill that, you escape the matrix or whatever you want to call it, you're not working 9 to 5, you get all the freedom, you fulfill it, and then you have to realize what you actually want to do next with life.
Yeah, makes sense. So, how do you think someone, like, once someone reaches the level of success they want, how can they get that drive back and keep pushing for more? Or actually, a better question would be, how have you done that in your own life?
So now I'm kind of just doing it for the fun of the game. Like let's just say I make an extra, like, let's say I make $500,000 tomorrow, or like $1 million tomorrow just from the investment. My life doesn't change at all, to be honest. I'm not gonna go out and buy a bunch of shit because I could do all that now. So you have to realize it's not really about the external goals anymore. For me, it's more about the internal goals and the internal feeling that I get from doing the daily actions, doing the daily habits, doing the meditations, the working 12 hours a day, going to the gym every single day. Like, I think that's where you kind of have to switch the whole paradigm from thinking like, okay, what goal do I want to achieve next? Obviously, for me, the next goal is $250,000 per month by the end of the year, but I'm not so
Yeah.
like focused on it. It's more about just enjoying the process now, kind of thing. Because you'll realize after you achieve, and you fulfill a drive vacuums, you're going to be like, okay, what am I even doing here? Like, why am I even making money? Like, why am I even having this business? And then you'll realize, like, okay, what's my actual true purpose in life and what do I actually want to do next? Because the more money I make, my life doesn't change at all. And that's the exact feeling I had in Greece as well. Like a year and a half ago, I fulfilled everything and I just like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I even making money? Like, the more money I make, my life doesn't change. So why do I even make more money? So it's a very, very bad belief to have, but it will happen to some of you guys. But it's all about just a journey, and you'll eventually figure it out. But yeah, you have to just kind of seek a higher purpose in life. Yeah.
How have you been able to find that higher purpose?
Yeah. So mainly through helping out others, and I think reducing suffering, and also I think that's what a lot of people are pretty much out to do, just to reduce suffering overall. Yeah, so at least the way I found my just higher purpose and kind of just like the new mission is literally just like by doing this new business, which is like helping other people and starting my mentoring and coaching business. So I started about a year ago, and that's kind of where I'm making all my money from. And yeah, I mean, I think it's the best way to do it because it's all about just like reducing suffering overall and just also helping people achieve what I've been able to achieve as well with my agency. So pretty much just coach and mentor other SMMA owners or people trying to get into SMA as well, and just help them scale up very, very fast with everything I've learned and everything I've kind of discovered in the past 2 years of actually running this stuff. And that's kind of the better purpose because it's like you get to a point where it's like, why am I even making more money in the agency? And then now I don't really care about money at all. Like I said, if I make an extra $1 million or $500,000 tomorrow or per month, whatever it is, my life doesn't change at all. So it's more about just helping other people out and also feeling that internal feeling when you're on the mission, on the grind, and it's like you have that such a good like internal state where it's like your routine's dialed in, you're going to the gym every day, you're working every day, you are working 12 hours a day, you're connecting with guys, you're networking. So it's like it's more about just enjoying the journey now. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. And going back to what you're saying about
Mm.
helping other people, that is just a completely different sense of fulfillment. Like it's like, yeah, making money feels great. Making money feels amazing. But when you know that you're genuinely making a difference in someone else's life, especially in your case too, because what you're doing with your business is you are literally giving them, like, helping them start a business that will make them 10K, 20K, 30K a month and have them do whatever they want. So you are making such a big impact on people, and I'm sure that feels great.
Yeah, it does.
So,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I actually, so I was, I think it was kind of it, but I was actually just, 2 weeks ago, or I think like 3 weeks ago, I actually hosted a client retreat in Greece. So the same island I actually originally went to when with Nick and Jordan when I first dropped out and started my business. About a year later, a year and a half ago, we went to the exact same island like 3 weeks ago with all my clients. Not all of them, but a few of them. So there's about 9 of us total. We went there, booked out a 10-bedroom villa. It was absolutely insane. It was like a mansion with a big pool, huge multi-level garden. It was really cool seeing a bunch of the clients there in person because it's like it hits different when you actually see them in person. Like after you change someone's life online, it's like it's really cool, but when you actually see them in person and they're like only there because of you, it's like it's a crazy, crazy feeling. And also just seeing them all connect together. We're going on yachts and stuff like that together. So swimming in the ocean, it was a lot of fun just to see some of the clients and mentees actually in person after you've helped them scale to 30K per month, 40K per month, whatever it is in a few pretty short amount of time period. So yeah.
100%. So, do you just help SMMA owners, or is it any kind of agency owner?
Yeah, I like to honestly just prioritize just like local lead gen SMMA. So honestly, I usually just focus on guys who are in like real estate, home improvement niches kind of thing. I only really like to focus on
Yeah.
like SMMA, like lead generation kind of thing. I do overall agency, but that's kind of just what I prefer. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And then I
Mhm.
know you did an SMMA, so it's like those are the people that you can help out the most and really provide the most value to. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, man,
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to ask you,
Mhm.
what's that?
No, no, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last question that I ask each one of the guests that comes on is, what do you want to do before you die? Like, what are maybe a couple things on your bucket list or just things that you want to accomplish in general?
Well, the goal is like 250,000 per month by the end of the year. That's definitely the big goal. And then also, I don't know, like the thing about me, it's like I feel like I've achieved almost everything I ever wanted like last year, but it's like it's hard. It's honestly hard. I think just random numbers in business that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, I think just to keep on living life. To be honest, that's kind of what I want to do. Also, to get a really good, way more jacked as well. I think that'd be huge. And yeah, to get more jacked, make more money. Yeah, I think just also the actual big goal I want to have is I want to have 1,000 mentees. So that's the actual biggest goal. I don't really care about the money. It's more about the actual impact now. So I want to have like 50 to 100 people like in-person meetups. So I'm actually hosting a climb retreat in Dubai. So I'm gonna try to get like at least 30 guys out here. We'll see how many actually come out, but I'm gonna try to get at least like 30, maybe even 40, 50 would be insane. But yeah, I think that'd be such a crazy feeling because like when you actually see someone in person after you change your life, like it's such a good feeling. But at mass scale, like imagine if I have like 50 clients, just like we're all just at dinner together, like that'd be so cool. But honestly, that's like probably the biggest goal is just like 1,000 clients worldwide, and yeah, that's kind of the next big goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And the thing about that is like because you're making such a big impact on these people's lives, by impacting their lives, you're also helping all the people around them. It just causes a huge ripple effect. And even though you
Mm.
like even if you have 1,000 mentees, you're actually impacting way more people than just those 1,000 people. Anyways, bro, great podcast.
Yes.
I really hope like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
video and the
That was really
audio
solid.
turned out okay, but I appreciate you coming on a lot. And what is the best way for me and the people listening to this to support you moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna, you guys could check me on Instagram and also YouTube. So my Instagram username is just Eric. Just look up Eric Kavelaars, and yeah, we'll come up there. And then also on YouTube as well, just Eric Kavelaars too. And yeah, that's pretty much how you guys will find me. So you guys can message me any questions you guys have. DMs are always open. If some of you guys want to meet up in Dubai as well, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, all of your socials and your mentorship program are going to be linked in the
Mhm.
description. So if you're interested in any of that and you want to check Eric out, go down below and yeah, we'll see you later. Appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.